Today I'm going to do Fernridge, and directly translated that stands for, well, I would say Fernridge. Been a very long while since I've done it. Wasn't planning on doing it. I wasn't planning on doing it at all. But it seems like I've now finally started snapping out of this bronchitis. And so I decided it's been ages since I've gone for any decent walk. Let's go and do it. I was actually just today, I was going to go with Adele and go and show her another old cement dam. And due to circumstances, she can't come today. So there's just no way. I was going to sit at home doing absolutely nothing. And since it's been ages, I thought let's go and do Fernridge. Probably be about 3.5 hours. I don't know. My guess is 3 to 4 hour walk. And we're going to have a stunning view over town from the top. We're going to be going through two and a half pieces of forest. When I say half, so few trees at the third place. It's a semi-forest maybe, but I think I'll start the video with a nice clip of the view so people can see that this climb is worth it. So yep, stay tuned and see the different sections. The moment you cross that railway bridge, that is when the climb basically starts. It's all been level pebble so far. And yeah, we've got a gradual climb through the pine forest coming. Then we're going to turn gradually left, cross a stream. May as well give an extra, I don't know, 20 minutes. And go and see how much water is in that other dam. Make a U-turn there. And then head up. Up. I always like to go clockwise. You've got sharply up on your left. And then a long 80% of the distance is a gradual down. One can do it the other way around and go gradually up, I suppose, and sharp down. I like to do the hard work first, get that over and done with, and then nice and gradual, enjoy the view down. Pine forest coming up just now. I actually forgot to record at the pine forest earlier when we were going through it, but I've made previous recordings there. If one wanted to make a shorter walk today, one could go with that road and make a circle route that heads you down back to the railway line a lot sooner than this route we're doing today. That whole circle, that small circle, would probably take you in less than an hour. I'm guessing it's been so long since I've done Fahrenkloof. I'm guessing, even if I've done it about 40 times, I think it's about between 3.5 to 4 hours in total. Look at this, how things can change in such a short space of time. How enclosed this has been. Wouldn't be surprised if working on fire comes and opens up here again, because this is actually a road here that they used a few years ago with the trucks to get up to a fire. Not the main fire we've had 2.5 years ago, a slightly smaller fire that was in that area, and they actually used this road to get up. So I'd be surprised if they don't open it up at a stage. It's just a matter of time. I sincerely hope they do, because if they do, that shows it will always be open, also for people like myself and cyclists. So shouldn't be too long, and we'll see how much water is in the little stream, and then may as well go and take a sneak peek at the dam. I don't know if you're actually going to see the mountain in the background. The poor camera doesn't know how to adjust according to this light here. You want to see the road, you're not going to see the mountain. You want to see the mountain, you're not going to see the road. Not until we are further up. Not too far from the stream now. And then we can have a look at the dam. Of course, today I did put these shoes on. These Merrells. Incredibly comfortable. I would not have put them on. It was if I was planning on something big, like really big, Craddock Peak or maybe even George Peak, because I know for a fact I would slip. But there shouldn't be too many rocks on this one, and they're incredibly comfortable. So if the risks of slipping based on the kind of trail you're doing are lower, then I'll put them on. I tell you, smoking while you have bronchitis doesn't help it. Now I can start feeling some of the stuff coming nice and loose from my lungs. This is one of the main reasons I have felt like I need to go for a walk. A walk. Not just a cafe walk, proper walk. But we're climbing systematically. I'll check the water now. Mountain seems to be quite wet. There is water, not as much as I was expecting, considering how wet the mountain is. This is always also a nice little picnic spot. One could just come up to here and make a U-turn if one wanted to. Always awesome here. We're going there now. We're going to come back now, and then go up. Let's just go and check the dam. There is bound to be people there. In the old days, there were no people. No people. Nowadays, it's become more popular. And thanks to security issues in South Africa, or safety issues if you want to call it that, which is no issue to me really, you get security people that are jumping on the bandwagon and coining it from that, taking groups of people at cost of course to this dam now, which brings a lot of people that were maybe afraid in the past to come for a walk. And I can bet your bottom dollar a good amount of them, a good portion of them, end up coming back without the security after they've been exposed to the dam and know where it is and how to get there. So ever since this security business has started this and coining it, due to complete exaggeration in my honest opinion regarding safety, there's a lot of people that have been exposed to this now for the first time, basically repeating what I just said, and they end up coming back by themselves again. So anyway, long story short, 20 years back, hardly anybody knew about this dam, except maybe a small handful of people who would discover it on Google Earth like I did. Anyway, we'll check it just now. I just hope I don't slip with these shoes when I climb onto the dam wall. That we will have to see. More water than I expected. Far more water than I expected. Let me take this camera, put it safely there, and that in my phone, so that when I jump up here and then down there, I don't lose my camera or my phone. And same goes for here, where we're about to climb over for the sake of a photo. Definitely more water than I expected. I'm just trying to get the peek in here. Right, I know this was a long clip. I almost forgot to just press stop, but yeah, this is what I wanted to come and show. This is what I wanted to come and show Adele, and I will at a stage. And she can come and get the feel of the place here. One doesn't have to get onto the damn wall. One can walk around it if one wanted to and continue to the other side. Now this is going to be fun. I hope my phone doesn't fall out here, because if it falls into this dam here, it's a goner. I ain't taking any chances. And up and up and up we go. Maybe not the most spectacular, prettiest part of the video necessarily. And it's also to remind myself what it takes to get to the part that's going to have a spectacular view. And the path is accessible still. I'm interested to see what it's going to look like at the top once we've reached the highest point. And there's a section that's full of ferns normally. Huffing and puffing exercise. We have actually even yet to get to the top railway line crossing at a section where you won't even see the railway line, because we're going after quite a long tunnel, or should I say wide, that we go over. And like the group of people I brought didn't even know they're busy going over the railway line until I told them. Anyway, I'll record a little bit later again. You see that pillar, and you may or may not see it here, that one. Then that's when you know you're at the railway line. I'm busy crossing it right now. You just don't see it. This tunnel goes wide that way and that way. And if one wanted to, should we? Oh, what the hell, let's do it. if one wanted a quick sneak peek at it again, one can follow this little piece of trail. I don't know that I feel like going right down into it. I've done that before. Take a photo of the tunnel from the side. This also serves as a great option. You know what, I'm not even going to go further. The railway line goes there, and the tunnel is there. This also serves as a great option to take different routes to the tower, for instance. One can happily walk onto the top railway line, follow it either direction, and providing you know the mountain, decide whether you want to go to the tower on that side, go down with the forest on that side. If you're super fit and you've left early, even take the turn up I should say, to George and Craddock Peak, or the vertical, in fact, the so-called vertical, which is an optional route up to George Peak. Name says it all. A lot more steep, but it is shorter. I was going to say there used to be a sign here, 2 signs here. There's the old sign. This path that was created, you're not going to see it on the GoPro, but it obviously goes there. This you can see. This clearly go down there somewhere, and you may or may not see it, but there's a path. On the other side they're going up again. Hats off to whoever created it. And here's the one we're doing today. We're not doing the whole one. We're not going to go to the hut. Signs falling down. Yeah, I think the majority of people don't actually complain about lack of interest from people like Cape Nature and Sandbox, because I suppose there'd be too much regulation. 99.9% of the people that come walking in the mountain are tidy, clean people that like the mountain, respect it and keep it clean. You get people like Sandbox and Cape Nature too involved again. Well, if they decide they suddenly want to be involved the formal way with places like Tierkop, you're going to have costs involved and all kinds of stuff. So I'm also perfectly happy with the way it is, even if it means maybe some of us can put up these signs ourselves one day again. We are gaining some height. Here's town. Lovely, cool day so far. This is when you know you're really progressing. As soon as you take this turn, pretty muddy actually, really muddy. On this stick, on there. As soon as you start taking this turn and you're getting closer and closer, upper, higher, and we take a sharp turn right, even if we've still got steep incline. When you get to this part, that's when you know you're progressing. This mountain is wet, and it's not like we've had hundreds of millimeters of rain, so I really am surprised at how wet the mountain is. It explains why the dam has got quite a bit of water. I'm talking about the main dam. Has still got quite some water in it. Best news of all is that our raining season has basically not even started yet. So yeah, I know when we get to the steep part, it's not too long, and we're going to be at the top forest, and not much more elevation, not much more climbing after that forest. See you higher up. Good news, when we make this turn, we're very close to the forest, and we are basically now the height of the forest. Not much climbing to do anymore. Once we're through that indigenous piece of forest, last bit of climbing is so gradual you will hardly even notice it. We are finally leveling out a bit here, and now suddenly George Peak looks so much closer. We're not going to George Peak, but yeah, it does look so much closer, doesn't it? Now we're fairly level, and forest is just on the other side there. I might have to, I don't like editing normally, I try and avoid it, but I may do a little bit of editing, make it a bit lighter. I'm not complaining about the weather. It's stunning, awesome, cool autumn weather, but I don't know what it's going to be like on the video. I don't know how much is when it's going to see. It's actually going to be quite dark. I may just make it a little bit lighter. Anyway, see you in the forest then, Anna, with full of ferns, which is why so many people have adopted this route as Outeniqua. Welcome to my favorite top forest. It's going to be a slightly smaller one after this one, and then another even smaller one after that. But this is the part where so many people have decided to call it Outeniqua for Fernridge. This stuff here never used to be here before the fire. That certainly isn't ferns, it's invasive things. The fire has changed this piece of forest as well. This year, I clearly remember, for years and years and years, used to be open, nice and open between the trees there, until this fire came, which some fool started on his farm on the other side of the mountain, which has actually done some parts good, believe it or not, but I still, for some reason or another, despite that, am not in favor of the fire. This year, some are nice ferns, but a lot of it is like wattle trees and invasive stuff as well. Doesn't change the scenery. It's still always shade here when the sun's blazingly hot in months like February. Then got some awesome shade here. All goes well. Got some running water coming now. Yeah, all this used to be open. I wonder what this stuff is. Do you get a thing like a plantologist? Do you get a... would be interesting to know. Yeah, if Cape Nature could cut that, for instance, it would also be nice. Look after some indigenous pieces of forest. Otherwise, as long as the trail remains open, that's also fine. Always makes for a nice photo. I think I said in one of my previous videos that this on video might just look like yet another nice piece of forest, and remarkably similar to the one close to home. The significance of this one is the almost guaranteed privacy, because very few people come here, and how much higher you are and what you're going to see the moment you come out of it. The awesome view you're going to have of town the moment you come out of this piece of forest. I would say some of the trees here are also a little bit older maybe than the ones, I don't know, it's hard to tell, in the forest just above my neighborhood. Full of ferns here. I do like seeing clearly that other people have walked here recently. That tells me that the other section after this forest is very likely to be accessible, open. We will get to our rocks now with, my guess is, a little bit of running water. Even if there's no water, I've got some in my rucksack. I brought about 2 liters today. One can go left or right here. It's interesting how people pick and choose. I'm going left. I'm in South Africa. Keep left, pass right. Look at that. Bright green, eh? Bright, shiny, almost reflective green. Perhaps another way of realizing how much higher you are is to see how long this piece of forest walk lasts. And yet if you look at this piece of forest from downtown, it doesn't look particularly wide. It looks pretty narrow. And you're up here, you're walking for quite a while in it. That obviously just tells you how much higher you are. This is without any doubt the most awesome part of it. With these ferns. Ferns can also be invasive and a pain sometimes. But even I have to confess that this looks quite nice now. Because they weren't here before the fire. So the fire has changed this totally. This particular section. This is a spot where we had breakfast when on 2 occasions that I brought groups of people up here. Nope, no water running here. Ferns, ferns, ferns. Like I said, I think directly translated, Fernridge stands for Fernridge. Here we're looking up. Trail. Down. Very peaceful here. Listen to the birds. Can you hear them? Look how a lot of the trees are facing that way. Nature. Time for a photo. Oh, well, off we go. Awesome. Beautiful. I didn't bring any small camera. In fact, I brought my phone, but it was on 5% when I started walking. It was just too late to actually turn back. I'm going to leave it at home. And I know what happens when it's on 5%. It loses that last 5, like in 2 ticks. Let's just see if it actually has enough to power itself on here even. Maybe enough just like for 2 little selfies maybe. Up the green moss. Last little bit of climbing. It's going to be a little bit as we exit the forest, which is so gradual you hardly even notice it. And then it's all nice, systematic down. Being very stupid trying to start this phone now, because it uses so much of that 5%. I'm out of the forest anyway, man. Take a selfie rather just now with a town of something in my background. This will be an aimless selfie with trees and stuff that could look like it's anywhere. Could look like it's at my neighborhood, man. Anyway, still a little bit of forest out of the main one. This still forms sort of part of it. And we'll be exiting now. Climbing up roots here. I actually forgot about this second section of the first forest, and I hear water. Since I've finished one of my bottles, I'm going to fill it up here. Don't know if you're going to see the sun. Those trees there. Freaking awesome. Take a photo. Sorry for the shaking. Don't know if you can hear the water. Clearly a little bit flowing here. Ooh. Some of these ferns can become quite thick. Stems can become quite thick. Like that one. Oh yes, here we have finally have our rocks here. Our favorite rocks. This is the part I was thinking about in terms of water. Boy, you'd think I've never walked here before. Teeny weeny little bit of water running there. See if we can take a photo with a DSLR looking up like that. Been chilling here now for 20 odd minutes. No, I think it's less. Maybe 15 minutes maximum. Just chilling. Is that beautiful? Bit of sun on that tree there. Bit of sun on that tree. And now we will be systematically exiting it. After which we will have a nice view of town. And that's where I will take a nice 5 or 10 second video clip and maybe just put it in front of all of these to show what one of the goals, or maybe if not the goal, is to climb up here. Still some nice trees, but I'll see you as we exit this and look down onto town. I see the sun is shining on larger spots of town. Up here, where the clouds get stuck in the mountain, nice and cloudy, shady, cool. Little buck this high. I'm only used to seeing them in the past in the forest just above the suburb, not up here. Maybe we're lucky and we see it. It's clearly been following this trail here. If we do, I might just be sorry I didn't bring my 300mm lens. Yep, I'm clearly stuck to this trail. I'll record again now. You may not notice clouds starting to cover George Peak there. I could swear I see a trail that's been created that goes, no, let me get focus of the camera there. I don't want to speak too loudly because I'm convinced I might walk into this little bushwhack. He's been following this trail all along. Anyway, here's town starting to open up. Sun shining on town there. Awesome view from up here. We have now basically reached our highest point. I am convinced I'll see this little bushbuck at a stage here. Funny how he's been going on the same trail, nice and open, accessible. Why not? In about 30 meters from here, 40-50 meters, we will be at the highest point. This is very interesting. This is this new trail that's been created, and also this clear marker. So yes, I think I will come and do this one day. See how far up it goes, where it goes. I'm surprised we ever didn't make the effort of creating it, didn't put up a sign to say, give it a name of some kind. I have a gut feeling it's the one that leads to the one that leads to some caves that are up there. Could be. So yeah, I'm just going to inspect it one day. There's our house. Now, you see this little picture? This is our highest point. It's all systematic down. Look how the world opens up on that side now. Wilderness, farmland, windy, so I'm speaking out a bit louder, hoping I don't chase the bushbuck away. Yeah, there's wilderness, and beyond town, every suburb of town, including industrial areas, CBD, other suburbs with higher trees, older suburbs I'd say, and other parts of the mountain. Hello, George. How you doing, George? Railway line, waterworks, garden route dam looks good. See if we can take a photo from here. Oh, there's the power van coming. I think I'm going to be too late for a photo. Yep, just a bit too late. It's the other side of that hill now. No clear view. Flower you were just looking at, for anybody who doesn't know. If I put it onto YouTube and you're from another country, that is a protea. Those two were proteas, South Africa's national flower. Our cricket team are called the Proteas. I wasn't expecting to see any. And they still in flower. They look like they were in main flower, heading out of their flowering now. So we might see some just now again. Oh, there's the power van coming. I think I'm going to be too late for a photo. Yep, just a bit too late. It's the other side of that hill now. No clear view. Flower you were just looking at, for anybody who doesn't know. If I put it onto YouTube and you're from another country, that is a protea. Those two were proteas, South Africa's national flower. Our cricket team are called the Proteas. I wasn't expecting to see any. And they still in flower. They look like they were in main flower, heading out of their flowering now. So we might see some just now again. for quite some time now. Been eyeing out the view of town, basically walking all along it. That's what this is about. You've got a view with almost this entire piece of trail. The only part that's different is when you're walking up and you're looking up towards the mountain. Once you start gradually going down, then you've got a permanent view over things like the catchment area and town. And here we make a sharp left towards the mountain. Zoom out a bit here. There we go. Towards the mountain, and then we turn right again and go all along, with a bird's eye view of that side again. Forest number 2 coming up now, which won't be as large and as long lasting as forest number 1. Awesome, man. I'm just trying to sort out something on the trail here. Sopping wet at some parts. Really muddy at some parts. Must be rather splashy if you're a trail runner and you're trying to run through parts like that. Check how that side opens up again. That Garden Route Dam has got quite a bit of water. And actually, water restrictions have been lifted. Whereas the Eastern Cape, PE region, according to an article on Microsoft, our Eastern Cape region, most dams are around 15%. That's 15%. They are in a severe 7-year drought. And relatively speaking, they're not that far from us. So I suppose we're lucky. Very lucky. This is really the main section I thought might be, or one of the sections that I thought would be hopelessly overgrown and inaccessible. Not to be. Can be done. I forgot about the spot. Clean forgot about the spot. This can be spectacular when there's been some good rain. See, even if you've walked something for 30, 40, 50 times, there are still parts that you can forget about. And it all goes down. This clearly goes, that small bit of water obviously goes under these rocks here. Ends up, it's got quite a way to travel to go under all these rocks and end up down there. There it starts running again. I've been here when there's been quite a bit of water running down here. Photo time. Forest number 2. Very short piece of forest. That if all goes well, it's also got a little bit of water running. Yep. Lots of different kinds of ferns here. Different ferns. When I say different kinds of ferns here, I mean different from the other forest. The first forest we entered this year is, I don't know. There will be a name for these kinds of forests, these kinds of ferns, but I have no clue what the name is. I actually prefer them to the other ones. They just don't seem to take over so much. And already we exit this piece of forest. And just like the previous one, as we exited, we back to an awesome view of town, sea, Marcel Bay, wilderness, etc., etc. On a previous occasion I walked here, this entire section here, all of this here, full of pink flowers. Now I see quite a couple of yellow flowers. Maybe we're lucky if we come again. Maybe they're starting. A few yellow flowers now. Shouldn't be too long, and we're going to reach a point where we're going to end up going sharply down, but we still got a turn to make there, and I will catch you there. Some really good, look at all those pink flowers. I don't know if you're going to see them, but they're like these ones. There's a huge amount. I don't think you're going to see it on this bloody GoPro, but quite a couple there. They decided they like that spot. It's getting prettier and prettier. Wind's picking up a bit. This is one of my most awesome parts. One of my favorite parts. This here, in fact, is now we've got the option of turning left, which I've done. It was the only option in the past. Turn left here and head towards the old dam, and from the old dam there's another road which goes further down at the bottom. It goes all the way back. So if you want to make a nice long walk out of the day, you turn left here and you're going to have a look at the other old dam, which is a bit larger than the cement dam we were at earlier. Look very carefully. You're not going to see it on the GoPro, but just there is a trail under those rocks of that cliff there, and that's part of the whole Tierkop hut. You're definitely not going to see on the GoPro is there. There's a hut. Without any doubt, stunning. Whereas we are now, that's the one option. The other option is taking a shorter cut. This was created and it seems to be quite popular. When I say recently, well, very recently compared to the other one, it's been around for over 2 decades plus. This one was probably created, I don't know, about a year ago, where you go down here and you end up at the railway line, and you just cross the railway line and go straight down to the bottom railway line. So we're going to go there today. Ends up being good weather, nice and cool. Don't know if you can actually hear with the wind picking up now, but it's cool and nice weather, great weather. I've walked this trail when it was blazingly hot several times before, and I've only had 1 bottle of water so far. Remember what I said about nice cool weather, nice cool. Admittedly, I never really looked at the weather forecast. I don't know if you're going to see this. I'm starting to make a beeline for the bottom. I don't know if you're going to see the top there. Actually got a few minor little drops on me here now. Weather definitely busy closing in towards the top there. So unless the wind changes, it could build up even more and start spreading further down. Few sprinkling rains. Of course, it would be nothing to a Canadian who's not only used to rain and snow and so on. I often watch some Canadian guys when I just seem to stumble more upon Canadians than Americans or any other country for that matter. If I go typing in anything about hiking, camping, etc., mountain hiking, I just seem to get to Canadians, and they like the mountains and lakes. Of course, this little bit of sprinkling would be absolutely nothing to them, but no, I didn't check the weather forecast, so I'm anything but geared for any rain now. Only thing that can prevent this DSLR hopefully from getting wet if it starts sprinkling, raining, is my backpack. But there's no plastic bag. My rucksack, and my rucksack hasn't got its waterproof bag on it. So anyway, I think we'll make it in time down towards the bottom, and with a touch of luck we may even see the power van, that little red train. He's been going up and down the whole day today, even on a public holiday, so I'll catch you further down. Hats off to whoever created this shortcut that leads down. Railway line. One thing's become very clear. From this railway line, this top one, I mean, it goes there and it makes a circle, and then you've got the bottom one, right? Now, from this railway line upwards is healthy. And New Fynbos, relatively speaking, healthy, with indigenous stuff coming back like fynbos and flowers, etc. However, from it downwards, it's just a complete contrast. Total invasion of wattle trees and these other kind of trees, which I presume are maybe part of the wattle family. General weeds, At some places, ferns, yes, ferns can be an absolute invasion and make it impossible to walk sometimes. But all these trees here are wattle trees. So the entire section between the top railway line and the bottom railway line is something different. It's not like you don't want to go for a walk. I mean, the birds don't care whether it's invasive or not. If it's flowers or whatever, you're still going to get your birds and things. It's so awesome that they created that shortcut to lead down. This here fascinates me. Did somebody decide to flatten out here and set their tent up and have a nice cushion carpet? I actually have a strong suspicion we could be passing Mark's place. You get a Marcus and a Mark in the mountain. And Mark lives with some other buddy as well. And they moved. Now I have a very strong suspicion that we'll be passing their place pretty soon. Of course it will be stuck away a bit, but if I know where to look, then I might spot it. So we'll get to the bottom railway line pretty soon. Now we're on the bottom railway line. Here's another option of going. There's a road that goes into a forest on the other side there. Makes a turn, goes fairly sharply down and then systematically up again. Done that so many times, I decided to stick to the railway line because the power van, that little train, could be, he's up in the mountain now, so his next trip's coming down. And unlikely, I think it's normally only about 2 o'clock-ish that he's on his way back down again. It's now 1:30, and I think I'm going to be at the gates here at Waterworks well within half an hour, so I don't see myself sticking around. I have recorded it before, but yeah, what the hell, thought I may as well stick to the railway line in case he comes a little earlier than normal and record it. I've been looking out for Mark's place. He's here, him and his buddy camp here somewhere. I believe I've passed the area, the spot that he camps. But I'll find it. I will find it. It's not that difficult. One day I'll just make my mission to go and find it instead of going to do a long walk. Well, there we go. That was today's walk. I must look at the time I sent a message on my phone to my sister, because it was less probably than 10 minutes after I sent that message that I went for a walk, or that I left. I thought I just heard baboons here, and I think that was close to 9 o'clock, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, just over 4.5 hours. I'll confirm later what time I left when I look at the message on my phone. But basically around this corner and one more corner, and I'm back at Waterworks and the gate, back to noisy suburb with frustrated dogs that want to go for a walk, but neighbours that never take them, and everything else in suburban life. Kids playing, people playing music until who knows what time at night sometimes. Especially, actually only people that actually rent a house. Two houses, and they're the only people in the street that ever make a noise with their music. Doesn't really say much for the reputation of people that rent houses. So anyway, better than nothing, and I hope you enjoyed your walk. Stay tuned if you've stumbled upon this. Check other videos. I think there's about 70 by now. I think there's at least somewhere around 70 videos that you'll see on my channel, ranging from Wilderness to George Peak, Craddock Peak, Vensterberg, Losberg, any part of this, many parts of this mountain that you'll see on my channel. Hope you enjoyed the scenery. Stay tuned.